Good evening. I'm Dan Wolf. Laura's off tonight. Thanks for joining us. It has been a tough stretch for Duluth's downtown area post-COVID. Tonight, a plan to kickstart development in the heart of the city went before councilors. Northern News Now's Leslie Krebs breaks down what the plan entails and how it was received.
The organization Downtown Duluth recently unveiled its 5-year plan for breathing new life into the heart of the city, called Imagine Downtown. It includes a goal of more than 1,000 new housing units in that time. Thursday, the group's plan to make that happen, the Downtown Development Strategy, was presented to city councilors during the Committee of the Whole meeting. In it, DEDA Executive Director Tricia Hobbs said now's the time to make things happen.
People don't want another plan or a study, they're looking for action.
As for how the plan aims to create new housing, Hobbs says the city and partners must identify, prepare, and market spaces that are vacant and underutilized. Then hand those spaces over to developers who can begin construction. Councilors like Diane Desatel said Thursday night's presentation is a good launching point for the development strategy.
Is really helpful for us and the community to look towards other funding and to help spread that message and communicate it to the community.
While the creation of new housing is still a work in progress, some parts of the Imagine Downtown plan are already underway, like Friday's celebration on First Street.
There are some elements that we've already been able to take action on, which have been successful.
In Duluth, Leslie Krebs, Northern News Now.
By the way, that First Street event tomorrow is called First Street Friday. You can learn all about it and the goals behind the event at northernnewsnow.com.